The nightmare vision of the Cold War is back. Now, obviously, the big threat is the immediate attack on Iran. Woolsey, the former head of the CIA, was asked, what's his Iran policy? And he says, it's bomb, 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 Iran, bomb, 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 Iran. War, war, war. Any conceivable human problem, their answer is war. And, of course, the U.S. and the British are committing acts of war against Iran, and have been for years practically, with special forces on the ground in Iran, of tremendous consequences. The goal of all this is the Bernard Lewis plan. And in particular, this you can see, it calls for the carving up, the dismemberment, the balkanization of every state in the Middle East, but in particular, Iran. Notice that part of Iran will be carved away, according to the US-British plan, for the Kurds, for the Azerbaijanis, for the Turkmen, for the Baluchis, and the really interesting one is this one, Arabistan, Ahvaz, or Khuzestan as it's called. This happens to be the oil area. It's got all the oil fields in the Carg Island tanker terminal, and the US and the British are sending in terrorists right now to commit terrorism in this area with a view to detach it from Iran and make it into an Anglo-American colony. I call this the BP Liberation Front, because British Petroleum, this is, of course, the Anglo-Iranian oil company. This is the mastermind of the entire thing. This is the person who's running U.S. and British Middle East policy. It is Bernard Lewis, agent of the British Arab Bureau. Note well, a certified British agent runs the entire policy. That was the Bernard Lewis plan you have seen. The Israelis have their own version of it, but it all comes from him. In other words, the program of the U.S. and the British and the Israelis is the destruction of entire nations. That is their goal. Now, naturally, you cannot do this without eliciting tremendous resistance, rivers of blood, kinds of retaliation that we don't want to find out about. And then, of course, we go from the Middle East regional war involving Iran, Syria, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and other states. You can just imagine, I could give you detailed scenarios how they all get involved, to a world war. This is the oil aorta of the world, right? Here's the Persian Gulf, or here's the Straits of Hormuz. This stuff out here is the Gulf of Oman. Still further is the Arabian Sea. About a third of the world's oil comes through here. And it's about as narrow as the island of Manhattan. And a couple of hulks sunk here will block it. Plus, you can release mines. You can use any kind of tanks, artillery you have, torpedoes, suicide boats, whatever you want, to sink all kinds of tankers and other vessels in this area. And in case of a war with Iran, it is very likely that the Iranians will simply interdict the Straits of Hormuz, cutting off one-third of the world's oil. And for you who are so dependent on automobiles, that means $200, $300 a barrel oil, $500 a barrel oil, $25 a gallon for your gasoline, $50 a gallon for your gasoline. The end is the opposite. But from a military point of view, we are now on the verge of the absolute critical period.
Oil fields, oil fields, oil fields, oil fields, oil fields, oil fields. Oil, oil, oil. That's it, isn't it? This whole damn thing is about oil. Wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yes, it was.